question for you. Have you already checked your social media this morning?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's
right?
been hours, yes.
So maybe you're scrolling right now.
Yeah, social media, it is useful in a lot of ways. You're keeping up with old friends, you know, you're keeping up with your favorite cat videos, just to name a few things. It's a news source as well, but there is a dark side, and it is targeting our kids. Data, experts, even lawsuits are now screaming the warnings louder than ever. So this is basically about how damaging social media can be to young people's brains.
And some putting blame squarely on social media companies for creating a generation of mental health disorders. So Fox 13's Hannah Kim diving in this morning to what parents can do now to get ahead of it all.
Teenagers and the endless possibilities just in the palm of their hands.
TikTok.
Snapchat. TikTok and Snapchat.
Those are the two popular.
Those are
Yeah,
the
if I
two
look
populars.
over, my friends are either snapping someone or scrolling on TikTok.
And in those worlds, the perception of perfection is now constant and relentless.
The that girl or the it girl, where there's like this perfect person who wakes up all pretty.
I also saw my friends hanging out without me, and that sort of controlled my mind a little bit.
If you ask these 13-year-olds what their top concern is right now, Sydney Willis and Zoe Townsend agree immediately, even when the hurt may be unintentional.
I think there's so many versions of cyberbullying that like cyberbullying is the biggest one because there's so many things that can affect other people in their own way.
It's probably the main bubble. You know, it brings down self-confidence, which brings, like anxiety comes up.
You would think that feeling bad would keep people away, but according to Harvard School of Public Health, negative emotions are the strong emotions, and they keep us on the screen longer.
For example, a friend posts a picture of their pet. You would probably like it and then move on. But say you see a post that upsets you. You leave an angry emoji, maybe a comment, and even share the post with your friends to show them how upsetting it is. Just like that, you have tripled your engagement and spent much more time on the platform because you were upset.
The more time you spend on the platforms, the larger the profit for those companies. That kind of mind and emotion control for money is so concerning that Seattle Public Schools and the Kent School District are suing Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok, alleging that social media companies have substantially added to kids' mental health disorders. When it comes to TikTok, their lawsuit points to predatory algorithms that drive minors to endless spools of content about sex and drugs. The filing also points to a Wall Street Journal investigation about bots posing as 13-year-olds told how to tie knots for sex to fantasies of rape. Seattle Public Schools says from 2009 to 2019, there's been an average of a 30% increase in kids feeling sad and hopeless, with more kids attempting suicide, creating a desperate need for more counseling and student support. And the district thinks these social media companies should foot the bill.
I'm seeing a pretty big...
Okay, so Hannah's here, joining us now in studio to talk more about her piece and her work. It's so good to have you. Good morning.
Good to be here.
The fact that we have schools right now suing social media, this is so unusual. What are the social media platforms saying about this?
Yeah, I feel like they're feeling the pressure, right? It is kind of unprecedented when you have school districts that are suing over this matter. TikTok, for one, that's mostly in my piece. They say they cannot talk about pending litigation, but they say that they have features, things like age restrictions to parental controls. We also heard back from Snapchat and YouTube, and they also say that, this is really important issue to them, and they're always working to ensure that your kids are safe. The only people that we didn't hear from was Facebook and Instagram. Meta owns them, and I haven't heard back from them as of yet. But this is really important conversation right now, because I think the data, and you were going to probably ask me about this too, but I think data really points to how bad it is. I know we've heard it. We've heard that millions of times, but now there is a sense of escalation here.
Yeah, because it's actually affecting our kids' brains. And we've heard about these dangers before, and the warnings are now escalating. So what's driving that?
I think it's the data. So we've had 10 years now that we can look at. Now we're actually seeing it in our classrooms, in the hallways. Teachers and counselors are saying, look, we need more resources to handle these issues. They're seeing anxiety are up, suicide attempts are up, and you have eating disorders that are up. So when you talk about these big problems, counselors and school administrators are saying, we need help here. We cannot do this alone. And so I think the time that kids have been on social media, 10 years plus now, we're really seeing it in society. And I think that's why you have the Surgeon General, for example, coming out saying he thinks that 13 is even too young. I know in my piece you had that expert that said that 13 and younger she wouldn't recommend, but now the U.S. Surgeon General is coming out and saying, hey, you might want to think about 13 as well. Is that too young? So it all depends on your child and what kind of issues they may be facing, what your family dynamic is.
I mean, let's be honest, we're not going to shut down social media. It's here to stay at this point. So what can parents do? Because this feels, I just don't know how parents wrangle all of this these days.
You're right, because you have kids who are saying, I want this, I want that, because their friends have it. How can you say no to that, right? You guys, it's so hard as parents. But I think a good example are the moms in my piece. So you had Sydney and you had Zoe in my piece. And they have specific rules about specific platforms. For example, Sydney Willis, she can't go on TikTok and she can't go on certain platforms. She only has 45 minutes on Snapchat, and her friend, the same thing. She can't go on TikTok as well. So you have parents who are saying, these are the rules in my house. And the one big rule that I thought was really interesting that both of these moms were doing, they require their kids to put down their phones at night. They cannot keep it inside their bedrooms, and it has to stay outside charging, and then that way when they get up in the morning they can get it. So I think this is a really good rule that a lot of 13, 14-year-old parents, if you have young teens at home, those are some good rules, and have those parameters at home and have that conversation.
Hannah, we are grateful to have you here this morning to start this conversation. It sounds like we're going to hear more from the experts coming up at 8:30.
Yes, I want to talk about the red flags. Now that we have to live with it, what can parents look out for if something is wrong in their household? So we'll have that conversation coming up.
All right, Hannah, we'll see you in a bit. In the meantime, you can catch Hannah's entire story on fox13seattle.com. We have a link to the video as well as an article, fox13seattle.com. Okay.